Let's begin a new chapter of class 12, that is chapter number 6, electromagnetic induction, also known as EMI. Let's start it with little introduction. Scientists like Oersted and Ampere and many others proved that electricity and magnetism are interrelated. That is current electricity, in which moving charges are there. And we had studied so far that moving charges can produce magnetic field. For example, electric current can deflect magnetic compass needle when placed near to it. We have studied that moving charges, thus electric current, can produce magnetic field. So the question arises, is it possible that magnetic field can produce electric current? So answer is yes, it is possible. And it was demonstrated by scientists by two scientists. One is Michael Faraday and the another is Joseph Henry. And he found that which is very important for us, electric current can be induced that is without touching. Electric current can be produced in a closed conducting isolated coils when placed in varying or changing magnetic field. And this phenomena of producing induced current as current is induced, thus EMF is also there. Is called electromagnetic induction. and they did lot of experiments. Some of these are, we will study 3 experiments. Faraday's and Henry's experiments. Experiment number 1 is experiment 1, relative motion. Relative motion is the motion between two, that is, one is moving with respect to other. Between a bar magnet, in case 1 we are taking bar magnet and a conducting coil and studying relative motion between a bar magnet and a conducting coil. And conducting coil is especially made up of soft iron core. Induces electric current in a coil. And we use soft iron core because we have already studied earlier also that it has more permeability, thus attracts more magnetic field lines. In this experiment number 1, the arrangement is so made that the ends of the conducting coil is connected with the galvanometer. There are n number of turns in a coil. And near to this coil arrangement, a bar magnet is placed near to it, pointing in the first case north pole towards a coil. And as we know that from the north pole magnetic field lines are coming out, thus the lines are coming passing through the coil from the center. It is undeviated. Now the observations were, when the bar magnet is at rest, then there will be no deflection in galvanometer. That is, there is no current flowing through the coil. Thus, their observations were, when magnet is at rest, then G shows no deflection. That is, no current is flowing. Case second, when north pole of a bar magnet is moving close towards the coil, then there will be a current flow in a particular direction. Thus, the galvanometer points in one side. That is, when north pole moves towards the coil, then pointer of G deflects in one direction. That is, current flow in a particular direction. Here it will be anti-clockwise. And case 3 is, when north pole of a bar magnet is moving away from the coil, then it shows deflection in opposite direction. And same happens when the south pole of a bar magnet is moving towards the coil, then it will behave opposite to that of the north pole of a magnet. That is, when the north pole moves towards the coil, then the direction of current is in anti-clockwise. And when south pole is moving towards the coil, then the direction is in clockwise. South pole of a bar magnet move towards the coil, then the pointer of G deflects in opposite direction that of the north pole. That is, here when the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, now when the south pole brings closer or towards the coil, then the current will be in clockwise direction. Similarly, in third case, when north pole moves away from the coil, then pointer of G deflects in other side. Opposite side. Here we can show one direction, and similarly we can say when the south pole of a bar magnet moves away from the coil, then the pointer of G deflects in opposite direction to that of the north pole. And the next and the important point is, fourth point is, faster is the movement of a bar magnet, more is the deflection in galvanometer. So these are the cases of experiment number 1. Now let's study another experiment in which they connected one conducting coil through a battery, and there is a relative motion of these two coils. One coil is attached with galvanometer, another coil is connected with a battery. Let's study it. Experiment 2. In this, there is a relative motion between current carrying coil through which a battery is connected and a conducting coil through which galvanometer is connected. Then EMF is induced or electric current is induced. Let's see it. Let's draw its diagram first. A current carrying conducting coil is connected with a battery. This is the front part of a coil and the back part. It's noted by dash lines. Again draw it and connect the ends of the coil with galvanometer. Now as the current passes through the battery, the magnetic field produced around the coil, and by right hand thumb rule we can find the direction of magnetic field. Here as the coil moves, let's give it a name. Let it be a primary coil through which battery is connected. This is a secondary coil. Now when primary coil moves towards secondary coil, then galvanometer shows deflection, and this galvanometer is a sensitive galvanometer which gives full deflection when a small current pass through the coil. So here the deflection will be towards one side. Now as the coil moves towards secondary coil, then there is a deflection in a galvanometer, and this shows that current is induced in secondary coil. Therefore, observations were: first is when both the coils are stationary, there is no deflection in galvanometer. Second case, When primary coil moves towards secondary coil, current is induced in secondary coil and galvanometer shows deflection. In one side. And similarly, when primary coil moves away from secondary coil, then also current is induced in secondary coil and G shows deflection in another side or opposite side. And third case, we can write that when secondary coil moves instead of primary coil, then also same effects are observed. Secondary coil is moving away or is moving towards the primary coil. Then galvanometer deflects, that is, whenever there is a motion of one of the coil, then galvanometer shows deflection, otherwise it remains stationary. And here we can see that as the battery is connected, constant, that is uniform current is flowing, thus uniform or constant magnetic field is formed. And when there is a motion of a primary coil, then the galvanometer shows deflection in the coil. Thus, we can say that there is a relative motion between secondary and primary coil. Thus, current is induced in a secondary coil, that is a conducting coil. And it is given by a galvanometer. Now, let's study third experiment in which one coil is connected with galvanometer and another coil is connected with a tapping key. In experiment 3, Faraday shows that there is not necessary that there is always a relative motion between a coil and a bar magnet or two different current carrying or conducting coils, which we have seen in first and second experiment. He showed that two stationary coils can also induce current when in primary coil, which is connected through a battery, to a tapping key and a battery. And by varying current in primary coil, current can be induced in secondary coil. Let's see it. This is a secondary coil and primary coil connected to a battery and to the tapping key. And both are stationary coils. Now here, note the observations. In experiment 3, relative motion is not necessary or not the only requirement to produce induced current. Here both the coils are stationary and the current is induced when the key is tapped. When key is tapped, of primary coil, galvanometer shows momentary deflection towards one side and immediately return to 0. That is, the pointer again returns back to its 0 position. And when the steady current is flowing in a coil, then there will be no deflection noted in galvanometer. And when the key is again on, then there is a momentary deflection in a galvanometer but in opposite direction. And when the keys remained open, then also the galvanometer shows no deflection as it returns back to its original position, that is 0. Thus, we can also write its second point, that when key is released, that is, the current is not flowing, of primary coil, G shows momentary deflection in opposite side, that of the previous case, and immediately returns to 0. That is, it will not show deflection for a long time. Third point, when the key of primary coil is held closed, then galvanometer shows no deflection. And the fourth point is, we can increase its deflection by inserting one iron rod into these coils along their axis. On inserting an iron rod, their permeability will increase, thus they will attract more magnetic field lines. Deflection increases when iron rod is inserted into the coils. So these are the three experiments done by Faraday and Henry